Yo, what is going on, market makers? Welcome back to another show. And on this show, I want to talk about brokers, which brokers you should be using, and then why, and then also some other things that you're probably not thinking about. Alright guys, what is up? So like I said, let's talk about brokers. Let's really open up the floor for brokerages, because I get this question all the time. You know, even though it's in my program and stuff like that, people ask me what brokers I'm using, you know, which ones they should be using, if this one's a good one, if that one's safe. You know, I get it all the time. So let's go ahead and talk about brokers. So just to give you a little bit of context on why I'm qualified to talk about this topic, I actually launched my own brokerage in 2017 called Illuminated Markets. Now, Illuminated Markets, I launched it completely by myself, and it did really well the very first year, but I just couldn't really get it down packed. I couldn't get it to the point where I wanted it to because I was juggling so many other things at the time. But nonetheless, I did learn a ton through that process, and I'm still learning a ton on the brokerage side. I still have all my colleagues from the brokerage industry, and I'm working on some special things in the works. Now, the first thing that you need to know about brokerages is there are two different types of brokerages that you're going to run into when it comes to regulations. The first type of brokerage you're going to run into is you're going to have your onshore brokers. Now, onshore brokers are brokers that are based in the United States. I'm going to assume that most of the people watching this video are based in the United States, just like me. I mean, I'm in Colombia right now, but I'm a United States citizen, and we have only two brokers that are regulated in our country. The second type of broker is you're gonna have offshore broker. Now, an offshore broker is any broker that's not in the United States. They're typically not gonna deal with as many regulations. They aren't gonna have as tight of margin requirements and leverage requirements and stuff like that. So offshore brokers are an option for most people as well. So I want to just go ahead and let you know now that I'm about to go on a quick little rant, because the brokerage topic is a topic that's so detrimental to our success as traders. It's really detrimental to everybody. Doesn't matter if you're a trader or not. And I want to go ahead and just vent really quick, because this is a topic that nobody's talking about, and it's so touchy that if we don't do something soon, we're all freaking screwed. Now, I want to first go ahead and highlight some pros and cons of onshore and offshore brokers. Now, onshore brokers are typically going to be the safe bet because they are heavily regulated. We know that the United States government is legit, right? It's going to be heavily regulated, and we're not going to have to deal with as many scams. We're not going to have to worry about our money disappearing overnight. And then on top of that, if there's ever anything that went down, we could freaking sue their ass. Now, on the flip side, we have offshore brokers. Now, I set up an offshore broker when I set up my brokerage company, and that was really the only way that I was able to, and I'll get into that in just a second. But I set up this offshore broker, and typically an offshore broker, they're not going to have as many regulations. You're not going to be able to really go after them if anything were to go down. It's very difficult depending on the jurisdiction that they're in. A lot of these offshore brokers are going to be set up in like an island or like a small country that you don't really hear about, that's not really regulating them, not really slapping them on the wrist if things go to shit. But a pro of having an offshore broker as your main brokerage, you're gonna have really high leverage. And that's one attractive thing that Forex traders as a whole really swarm to, is having that high leverage, because that's what makes it worth it. When we have leverage, your leverage is kind of like a loan that the brokerage is granting you, because in reality, it actually takes hundreds of thousands of dollars to trade the Forex market. So like if you come in with your few $1,000, The broker is going to give you a loan that gives you an ability to trade in the intermarket. And with that loan, you have more buying power than you normally would with your few $1,000s. You're also going to be able to take multiple trades of the same pair. As opposed to the United States, if you wanted to take a trade on the Great British Pound, and then you see another opportunity to take another trade on it, they're not going to allow you to take a buy and a sell at the same time. And then also they have what's called a first in, first out rule, which means the first trade that you took, you have to close that one first before you close the next one. Now, this doesn't seem like it would be that bad until you have a freaking winning trade that is killing it, and you can't close it because the other trade is still active. With an offshore broker, you're not gonna have to deal with FIFO, which is first in, first out. And then, like I said, you're gonna have extremely high leverage that gives you the ability to trade a lot more, and you have a lot more buying power. The issue I have with the brokerage industry, or more specifically, I would say like how the United States government regulates the brokerage industry, is we don't really have as many freedoms as we think. One thing that most traders don't realize is when they set up an account with an offshore broker like a Hugo's Way, a Trader's Way, a IC Markets, or any other offshore broker that you can think of that's popular, that brokerage is accepting you as a United States client illegally. But there's a famous quote that I don't even know who it's from, but illegal doesn't always mean that it's wrong, and legal doesn't always mean that it's right. The more that these people accept, the worse it gets. So let me explain what I mean. And this is where what I wanted to rant about. If a person or a broker accepts you, okay, if they accept you illegally, and then the United States government comes after that brokerage, then they're gonna like, it's crazy what they're able to do. Like, they can completely freeze their accounts. They can get them shut down like overnight. Now, the problem with that is you have these brokers that get shut down overnight and their business completely halts. And mind you, they don't only have United States clients. Like, that might be the biggest bulk of their volume, but they don't only have United States clients. They have clients from probably all over the world where they actually are accepting them legally. Well, the issue with that is their business stops overnight, okay? Their business stops overnight because the United States government does not feel that you should be trading with an offshore broker. They want you to trade with an onshore broker where you're gonna have less opportunity to make money, you're gonna have less wiggle room to make mistakes, and they can regulate it heavily. And then if you make any money at all, obviously it's super taxed, it's taxed heavily, so you're gonna get hit with that as well. So there's like no way to really escape that big magnifying glass when it comes to an onshore broker. What they're doing basically is they're shutting down these offshore brokers, which leaves you without a withdrawal. And then it's super easy to just write that person off or write that broker off as, yep, they're a scam. I didn't get my withdrawal when I requested it. They're a scam. This theme has happened over and over and over again, and nobody's talking about it at all. So to recap, you have brokers offshore that are accepting United States clients. The United States government comes after these offshore brokers, even though we should have the freedom to go wherever we want. We're Americans, right? We have freedoms, right? Well, no. The wrong thing about it is they're basically saying, hey, we own them, so you can't accept them. So we're going to shut you down, and we're going to fine you tons of money, make you insolvent, and the next thing you know, you're completely shut down, out of business. And then that broker is labeled as a scam within the community, and then the United States government, they're able to run off and laugh about it, because not only did they just get a come up from the offshore broker, but they're driving more and more people to onshore brokers. Guys, this is so serious, because you don't understand, they're tightening regulations as we speak. So that means the more they shut down offshore brokerage options for us Americans, the more we have to use them for their options. And those options are getting tighter and tighter and tighter. We aren't able to make the profits that we want to make. We're not able to have multiple trades and make mistakes and stuff. Like, we're not able to do any of that at all. Every person I know that has been with an onshore broker, and they put a decent sized amount of money, and if they try to even trade remotely close as they did with the offshore broker, they lose all that money in no time because of how tight the regulations are with the United States brokers. Just last summer alone, they tightened it up in the EU to 1 to 30 leverage. You gotta understand that most offshore brokers are offering you 1 to 500. So that's a huge difference. Imagine how little of money you can make with 1 to 30 leverage. And then imagine if they tighten it up even more. You're not going to be able to make any money at all. It's crime. I personally feel that it's just one big scam. I feel like it's one big crime personally to keep American citizens. I feel like it's meant to keep us kind of like with a ceiling, because I mean, the money that we can make as traders is infinite. And if we don't do something about this, we're gonna look up one day, all the offshore brokerage options are gonna be so shut down and tightened up from American clients, or everyone's just gonna be so terrified to accept us that we're gonna have to rely on the United States, and we're gonna have like 1 to 5 leverage, if leverage at all, which we're not going to be able to make the money that we really want to. I understand that there are a ton of broker scams that happen on an annual basis. Like, I get it. But at the same time, there are a lot of offshore brokers that are really doing good. They're really generating good business. And the issue is the United States government is just like, no, we own these people and we don't want you using them. So we're gonna flip this whole charade that you got going on over here and make you look like you're the biggest scam in the world, and you're never gonna get business ever again. And look, like, I understand that most of this video has not been in the favor of United States brokers, but at the same time, like, I get their purpose. Like, it's meant to save you, quote unquote. It's meant to keep you safe. We have a little bit more rights as traders with the United States brokers. We know that our money is safe for the most part. But at the same time, like, they should be offering us, if they want to regulate it so heavily, they should be offering us higher leverage. If they really want to give us freedoms, we should have higher leverage, we should have better margins, and we should be able to really thrive. Nobody's talking about this. Nobody. And the problem, like I said, is they're tightening up regulations more and more and more. And if we don't do something about it soon, it's just gonna be gone. So what I want you to do, if you know anything about, lobbying, if you know anything about petitioning, go ahead and drop a comment below, because this is something that I really want to rally together so that we can start like getting our rights back. Because if not, it's gonna be terrible, guys. Like, I mean, trading is one of the only ways to truly become financially free. Like, I want you guys to understand that. Like, trading is one of the only ways to truly become financially free. It's not real estate. I know real estate is a great tangible asset. It's a great place to put your money and park it because it's real. But the money market, the financial markets, is how money was designed. It was meant to be speculated. So if you take that into mind, as a trader, we have one of the most powerful skills on earth. And if the government can limit that ability for you to excel, they're gonna do it. If you got value from this video, make sure you drop a comment below, make sure you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and then also share this video with everybody, because it's so important that we make sure that we get the word out, because traders do not get it. They don't understand it. They're just going wherever their favorite guru told them, or they're going where everybody else is going, and they don't understand that if we don't start fighting back, we're gonna look up and the United States government is gonna take all our rights And I feel like if we can stop it soon, then we can maybe do something about it. This was your boy Nemo. Remember, nothing moves without us.